Netflix shares slide after it loses 200,000 subscribers. So Netflix shares are sinking sharply after the streaming service suffered its first subscriber loss in more than a decade. Meaning, not that their first loss, but that they actually ended up with less than they gained. The company's customer base fell by 200,000 subscribers during the January-March period. Yeah, but they just all died of COVID, right? The company disclosed Tuesday in releasing its latest earnings report. Netflix's stock price plunged more than 37% to $219.50 in early trading on Wednesday as investors fretted about the company's slowing growth and mounting competition. UBS analysts downgraded their rating on Netflix stock from a buy to neutral, citing fierce competition in streaming, economic headwinds, and market saturation. The decline in subscribers is the first since Netflix became available throughout most of the world outside of China 6 years ago. The drop this year stemmed in part from Netflix's decision to withdraw from Russia to protest the war against Ukraine. Damn, virtue signaling bites sometimes, resulting in a loss of 700,000 subscribers. Well, I thought we were talking about 200,000. Even so, Netflix acknowledged its problems are deep-rooted by projecting a loss of another 2 million subscribers. What are these numbers?
I think it was the 200,000 was this year.
The net loss?
And then the loss of 700,000 was a larger period.
The company reported revenue of nearly $7.9 billion in the period. Did we or did we not cover that they are $100 billion in debt?
I mean, they're massive. They were massively in debt, and they continue to be because they're taking all this money out to try and fund new shows.
They could have bought two Twitters.
They're borrowing
for that.
against their debt because of the fact that they've always been able to tell their investors, "Hey, well, we haven't launched in Zimbabwe yet, and let's just launch somewhere else and get a new slew of subscribers, paying subscribers, right?" But they've already launched in all the big areas, so they don't have any other places left. They're going to actually give them, a large enough population that it's going to not just be a drop in the bucket, right? So the company reported revenue of nearly $7.9 billion in the period, falling slightly short of Wall Street forecasts. For the current quarter ending in July, Netflix said it expects revenue of just over $8 billion. Analysts surveyed by Zacks had expected revenue of $8.2 billion. Okay. So a series of declines. If the stock drop extends into Wednesday's regular trading session, Netflix shares will have lost more than half of their value so far this year. Holy shit. Wiping out about $150 billion in shareholder wealth in less than 4 months. Netflix also lost 800,000 subscribers in 2011 after it unveiled plans to begin charging separately for its then nascent streaming service, which had been bundled for free with its traditional DVD by mail service. The customer backlash to that move elicited an apology from Netflix CEO Reed Hastings for botching the execution of the spinoff. The service also drew a decline in U.S. subscribers in 2019. When did Cuties come out? But the latest subscriber loss was far worse than a forecast by Netflix management for a conservative gain of 2.5 million subscribers. The news deepens troubles that have been mounting for the streaming service since the surge of signups from a captive audience during the pandemic began to slow. Netflix is losing subscribers amid rising competition in online programming from Amazon, Apple, Disney, and numerous other services. The streaming industry, quote, is more saturated and filled with a multitude of services offering compelling content at prices lower than Netflix, including mega tech platforms with deep pockets, Oppenheimer and analysts wrote in a note, just like some fucking sticky note. So the slowing growth. It marks the fourth time in the last 5 quarters that Netflix's subscriber growth has fallen below the gains of the previous year. Now investors fear that its streaming service may be mired in a malaise as it faces stiffening competition from well-funded rivals such as Apple and Walt Disney. What is Apple doing?
Apple TV.
Apple has, Apple TV.
Yeah, but Apple TV, are they actually producing content?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They are?
the news show, or whatever. Is it called the News Hour? It's like a sitcom where they, I think Jennifer Aniston was on it. Where
They
they,
got a bunch of. I think that I've seen like advertisements for a couple different shows. I think they had one like Rupert Grint was in one, and like one M. Night Shyamalan was producing.
yeah,
I
they've
have
had
no
a few.
idea. Netflix is still the single most dominant player in the streaming industry, especially in demand for original content. I don't know why. Nothing has been good lately. A company that, but as several nearly century-old firms erode the incumbent market share, Netflix is reaching a point where it needs to focus more on subscriber retention, especially in North America, while its legacy media-backed competitors Disney Plus and HBO Max continue focusing on subscriber growth in key international territories. Yeah, so basically what's happening is that Netflix Netflix had their boom while they were focusing on key international territories, and now they've already gone through all those territories. And hello, duck. The emergency duck is here, just in time to derail us. Your mic isn't connected. Okay, cool. All right. So anyway, last year Netflix had its weakest annual gain since 2016, adding 18.2 million subscribers. That contrasted with an increase of 36 million subscribers during 2020, when people were corralled at home and starved for entertainment, which Netflix was able to quickly and easily provide with its stockpile of original programming.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So
Again,
this is what
every time.
This is what they're claiming is the reason why they lost subscribers. The password crackdown. So Netflix had previously predicted that it will regain its momentum, but is now starting to acknowledge that it's mired in a serious malaise that requires action. Among other things, Netflix signaled that it will likely crack down on the sharing of subscriber passwords that has enabled multiple households to access its service from a single account. The Los Gatos, California company estimated that about 100 million households worldwide are feeding off the same account, including 30 million in the US and Canada, its largest market. To stop the practice and prod more people to pay for their own accounts, Netflix indicated it may expand a test introduced last month in Chile, Peru, and Costa Rica that allows subscribers to add up to 2 people living outside their households to their account for an additional fee of $2.99 US. I mean, what if it turns out that they actually lose money on this option, right? Like more people that are just not watching at the same time start, lowering their account status or whatever, in order to be able to do that. So
yeah,
account sharing
could really end up pissing a lot of people off. Be like, all right, well, I'll move on to a different subscription service.
Honestly, dude, I can't think of every time I open up Netflix, I'm like, wow, I don't want to watch any of this.
Well, Netflix's library is usually the latest and hottest, whereas
not really.
Not lately.
Well, that's how a friend of mine always described, and how Hulu has more diverse library. I could be very wrong. I don't know. I don't use either of them.
Stranger Things season 4 is set to come out the first block on May 27th.
Yeah.
And then July 1st for the second block. So
Yeah,
maybe they'll see.
It'd be interesting because isn't that supposed to part of it's supposed to take place in Russia? It'd be interesting how current world climate is going to affect that.
I mean, I'll watch the shit out of it. Netflix ended March with 221.6 million worldwide subscribers. The pandemic easing, people have been finding other things to do, and other video streaming services are working hard to lure viewers with their own award-winning programming. Just saying, I finally watched Reacher and The Boys on Amazon Prime, and although The Boys was extremely gut punchy with their preachy liberal slant, and literally one of the villains is an actual Nazi, which is actually one of the funniest parts of the show. It's still significantly more entertaining than most of the shit I've watched on Netflix.
So it's like I was saying about Fantastic Beasts the one time, is that she made Hitler literally the villain because she can't be bothered to make.
I am just saying I am a
real
sucker.
villain.
I am a sucker for making Nazis the villains and things. I will watch the shit out of it when you actually use real legit Nazis and not what they did in fucking Captain America, where you created a Hydra faction so you didn't have to show swastikas. That was the biggest cuckening. I saw the old 80s Captain America where he fought the Red Skull and there were swastikas everywhere and everybody was an actual legit Nazi and it was fucking awesome. And then I watched Captain America fucking MCU version and it was terrible. Fucking terrible. Walking into there, I walked out, I'm like, were those guys even Nazis? That was the cheapest shit I've ever seen.
Well,
I'm just saying, I watched Indiana Jones fight the Nazis, and it was fucking awesome, and I've been hooked ever since. Right?
well, oh my god. Well, in the vein of cheap, that's kind of what it is nowadays. Is that well, let's make them Nazis. It's such a cheap cop out to say, yep, these are bad people, think they're bad. But at least like develop the Nazis as Nazis. Don't just be Nazis in name. And like show them doing the horrific acts and all this to build up that they're horrible people. Don't just say they dress as a Nazi. You're supposed to kill them, I guess.
I did not get the same woke alarms as you did with the boys show.
Well, the thing about the boys is, and just for the record, I actually thought it was good writing. My wife hated the Christian stuff in it, with like the Christian camp and all that.
Yeah,
I thought it was brilliant because it made sense that the characters in that universe, if you had religion, like you would expect it here, but then superheroes started popping up in order to have your religious beliefs operate in the world with superheroes. It made sense the way that they had tackled it, right? And I thought it was actually, as the story unfolded, like it made sense. But the way that they treated it was like the gut punch constantly, and the characters constantly having their little jabs at religion and stuff. And that was just one thing. I can't think of the other stuff off the top of my head, but there were other things as well where it was like, oh, the woke shit with the girls get it done,
But that character was the Nazi. And that
but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't just that. Look,
punchline.
the thing I appreciate. My wife kept falling asleep while we were watching. The thing I appreciated about it is that they were constantly they're attacking both sides, right? And from the political spectrum.
Okay.
When it came to, like, for instance, they had the blind superhero that they were trying to bring into their Justice League, and Homelander literally just goes up to him and says, "Okay, so what happens when somebody does this?" And he boxes his ears and just murders him. Right? Like, oh, so you're just a useless cripple now, right?
Yeah, I don't see that
like
going.
Good.
I see it as a show that does not care about politically correct crap.
Yeah.
And I mean,
well, there was some other stuff, like what I'm talking about, like when, and I don't want to give away season 2 before people have seen it, but when Nazi Chan and Homelander are talking to the crowd, they're using talking points that sound like the straw man of what people think rallies the right. You know what I mean? And it's just like, wow, this is really cringe. Anyway, but back to Netflix.
Also,
Netflix,
just
you
quickly,
haven't
while we're
made
on the
enough
topic,
Nazi
watch
fighting. Right?
while we're just quickly on it, watch
Okay.
Invincible.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out next, I guess. But I don't know.
Just
I
be
don't think
aware
my wife has not enjoyed how ultra violent parts of.
Don't watch it with your wife.
Literally,
that defeats the purpose.
The entire point of watching Amazon Prime stuff was having something to do with my wife. So it'll be a while before I get to Invincible. I did notice.
Just be aware that it's freaking all the changes they made.
What?
Yes, they have made a bunch of changes from the comic, and I would
We
argue
went over this to one podcast.
they make more PC crap in the Invincible show, but then the boys do. But
I'll just say this: there is one movie on Amazon Prime that I saw was on there the other day called Zombies. that is a zombie apocalypse film that
I've
takes
heard of
place in a
that.
zoo. And I'm really hyped to sit down and watch that, even though I bet it's going to be awful. Anyway, so yeah, just saying, Netflix, get your shit together, and we might actually want to watch or something. But I can't wait to see where they go with Stranger Things season 4, because that's the only thing that makes me even want to open up Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I can't even think of like what other they did. Lilyhammer, that was pretty good when they did it a while ago. But what other original programming has Netflix done?
The
that
last
is worth
biggest
watching?
thing was Squid Game, I think.
I didn't even watch Squid Game.
Yeah.
Okay, I forget. We don't consider Seven Deadly Sins Netflix original content, do we? Because technically, it's kind of not their property.
Well, I mean, it's
licensed by them.
on.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well-
so I mean, in that case, then that is something to watch. But
I mean,
so
that's
just
something
to
to
be
watch.
clear,
It's not
I
like a
don't think
huge
about the
property.
anime stuff personally, because I exclusively watch stuff that I own. So
Yeah,
the anime stuff, like I don't even, it doesn't even come on my radar. So I haven't been factoring it into my
Well,
here.
let's just put it this way. I
Um,
don't think the anime crowd is driving a bunch of user
are you
accounts to
kidding? Are
Amazon.
you kidding, dude? The anime crowd is
Actually,
the main
Netflix said
reason
that
that
half of
Netflix and
their-
Hulu keep their fucking doors open.
Yeah, Netflix. We skipped an article on this where Netflix said that half of their user base are watching anime.
Like that's a fact. No,
No.
actually, this has been talked about. Like the anime crowd are the people that are constantly paying for these subscriptions.
You misunderstand me.
Okay.
People are not buying, and I mean, I don't have anything to back it up. It's just my opinion. But I do not believe that people are buying Netflix accounts specifically to watch anime. Sure.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, they
do.
are.
Watch it
A lot
because
of
Well,
it's
people
on
I
are.
there.
disagree with you, Lance. But one
I would
second.
disagree as well.
Yeah.
Well,
They have a bunch of anime on the platform, and
Let's
anime
put
in
it this way.
general has
let's
been
put it this way.
pushed.
People aren't buying a Netflix account to watch the Netflix exclusive anime.
Yeah.
I
Right?
would say that's even smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's some good shit on there. Kengan Ashura, the new Baki, all that stuff. But people aren't actually buying a Netflix account specifically to watch that.
well,
Right?
I can. That is certifiably true because I have 3 friends who literally just got Netflix.
He doesn't mean
just for-
0%. He just
You're
means
saying
like
you're saying people aren't. Thus, you're saying 0. Thus, you're wrong. There.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So
The other thing
Semantics.
I want to say is that first of all, if you've seen the private chat, their whole thing about I posted a tweet from Netflix.
No
Their
one
whole
wants
thing
private
about
chat.
password sharing, where they're like, oh, you can't password share. Meanwhile, like 3-4 years ago,
love
or
is
I
sharing
think-
a password.
yeah.
Wow,
there's
this aged badly.
Yeah, when was this? Yeah, 2017. Okay, so 5 years ago. So this might be a problem that they kind of created. And the other thing is, I think that their model is kind of aged poorly, I guess, in a sense. Like their model is dump a show on the streaming service and then let people binge. And I mean, as much as I like binging a whole season of
they can get
Stranger
done
Things,
right away, and then
yeah. And honestly, well, I hate what they're doing, okay? Because they're putting this stupid like mid shit in it. I would rather a weekly release schedule over half a season and then another half a season a few weeks later. Like that, it's just so annoying to
like
me.
JoJo.
It's like trying to rev up your engine and then getting brake checked as you're watching something. I would rather
that's a fun way to put that.
I would rather like
Keep
get a slow week to week show come out, and then you can have something to talk about every week, and then okay, you're maintaining interest, you're watching it week to week. If
I
it's
don't
not very
because
good,
apparently that's what ruined Attack on Titan for me. Considering,
well, I mean, if it's
most
not,
people
if you're
watch
not
that.
into watching it weekly, you can always choose to wait. I
Just
guess.
wait. Yeah, but
Yeah.
see, I don't know. The reason I like the binge thing is that it makes it harder to be ruined. You
No,
know,
hold
like
on.
to have
I
a
like
flavor.
binging the entire season. I hate
Yeah.
when they're fucking chopping it up into like one or
Yeah, so
two,
JoJo,
or like
like,
2 or
oh, you
3.
got the
Like
first
what you're
12
saying
episodes.
is that they're about to release Stranger Things Part 4 starting with May and then the rest of it in July or whatever, or June.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying it would be better if they just release it all at once so you could just
Well,
watch
I feel like what they're doing is, so other streaming services don't do this binge thing. Netflix is the one place that still does it. Amazon was doing it initially, and then they were like, "Never mind."
Well, that
And
was
now they're
because of
back.
COVID.
No, that wasn't. That was they. I'm pretty sure that was before COVID. But either
DC, I
way,
sent you a picture
No,
of
I think
my
I
Amazon
think
watches.
what Reese was saying, I think that they started binge. What did they do, Reese? They started
so the
something
first
because of
the
COVID.
first
I-
season.
I- The thing I'm thinking about is The Boys, because I remember seeing reviews. They
Oh
did
my
they
god,
they did
what's wrong with your voice?
season.
You turned it to
He's
Lemoyne.
stuffy. Leave him alone. I know the
Yeah.
feeling.
So the first season of The Boys was dumped, and then the second season of The Boys, they said we're
They
gonna
did
do
They did
week to
weekly.
week. Yeah,
Which was, by the
and I
way,
don't think that was because of
trash
COVID.
for like 6 episodes.
Wasn't like, I might be completely wrong, but wasn't Netflix's claim to fame kind of that you could, at least a lot of people bragged on Netflix
Yeah.
years ago, that hey, you can watch everything the moment it comes out, and you
Yeah,
can
Yeah,
that's their
see the
whole
entire
thing, that
series.
they thought it
was-
would
yeah.
work better. But the
Mhm.
problem is now that I think that they're seeing the competition, like Disney and everything, is doing week to week, and they're getting the
They
benefit.
have been doing some of that week to week, like that Blue Period show. They did week to week. They did Comey. They're doing Comey. Like Comey can't communicate week to week. They did that for a while, like for the first part for
Okay.
episodes.
Maybe some of their anime. I haven't seen any of them that have been week to week, but they might do it. Yes.
That reminds me, I fell off the bandwagon of Comey-san can't communicate. I think I stopped at like what episode? I forget.
So
That
with the
finished
other,
completely, right?
so with the other streaming services, they get the benefit of when a series comes out, that a new original series, every week they have YouTube channels, bloggers, everything talking about what happened in the episode, what are the secrets, what are the things you missed, what are the Easter eggs, what are the
There's a
theories
hype
of next
train.
week's episode,
Yeah.
for
No, I
weeks
agree.
on weeks on
Mhm.
weeks.
So, and that's, you're kind
So
of
here's the
making my point
problem.
earlier where I got the where I've gotten the opinion of that Netflix goes for the the newer and the hype and all that, the latest, quote unquote, here, latest and greatest, whereas like I've just seen
No,
older stuff on Hulu. But see,
nothing
like, I
nothing
could be
about what I
wrong.
said has anything to do with what you just said.
Well, you just
Uh,
kind of does.
Netflix is doing a large batch now, or that they used to do full things. So when Stranger Things season 3 came out, everyone watched it in the first week or two. They talked about it for maybe 3 weeks, and then it dropped off the face of the planet because no one talked about it anymore.
Well, it's not even the talking. It's just that your subscription, you don't warrant having it for 3 seasons or a full season. You just warrant having it for the month that you got because you're like, oh, I'm done with the show.
I don't even think that's the biggest issue for them. I think I'm sure some people, I'm sure a number of people do cancel their subscription.
Oh, wow.
They watch their one show, they cancel their subscription, and then they'll re-up it whenever the new series comes out that they want to watch. But I would imagine a lot of people just leave it and they don't give a shit. But the problem is, without the constant news of like, hey, this show exists, then you need to rely on like insane luck, like they did with Squid Game and with Tiger King the first season, where
Didn't
like these shows are being talked about constantly on social media and they're going mega viral. That's what you need to rely on. And how many shows are like that? How much easier is it to go viral when you have shows or outlets talking about your show constantly for 10 weeks versus a couple weeks?
Didn't Netflix have Croco's Basketball? I'm trying to look it
They
up.
do,
it did.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I know a friend of mine that's his show, and that's like he went
So
off and
It's been
immediately
out
got
since
Netflix.
like 2011.
The latest series though, like they got like a new episodes or something not too long ago.
And
so
so
I
I think-
agree. I agree that if you release shows week to week, that the YouTube crowd, like the social aspect of it, improves, right? Because people talk about things. I remember there are plenty of channels that I watched that did Game of Thrones analysis. They talked about things that were different in the books week to week and all these different things that were really interesting. And I think that kept the hype up, like you're describing.
Yeah.
But I think that only works for some shows, right? Like for example, I watched Walking Dead the first season with a friend of mine, and then I think I might have watched the second season, and then I just kind of stopped watching it for years, right? And then like 4 or 5 seasons had gone by, and so one day I like sat down and I just played it like picture in picture, my VLC method, and I watched like 5 seasons straight, and I really enjoyed it as background noise, right? But then I caught up to where I'd left off and had to watch it week to week, and it is the most boring show I think I have ever seen. Week
I
to
agree
week.
with you.
Like
Um,
shit like that. Literally an hour goes by, the episode ends, and you're like, holy fuck, nothing happened that entire episode. Like it just feels like literally nothing fucking happened. When you're marathoning it, it's easy to forgive because it's actually slowly setting something up. But week to
but
week, if
you're
you're not
you're
thinking
making a
about it, you're not
mistake here.
investing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish your
I
point.
was just
Sorry.
say if you're not investing the mental attention to it, like then you don't even remember the subtle thing that was being set up the next week when you sit down and you just lose the momentum altogether.
I mean, I agree
So
with AC on that one.
I agree with your point that you're making. I think, especially with One Piece, how it's become in later seasons, like this dragged out, you know, nightmare of an anime. It would be better binging that as opposed to watching it week to week because you could watch it maybe slightly faster, and you could have it on in the background, and then whatever. I agree with that. So some shows would work better as a binge marathon thing. However, what you're forgetting is they don't give a shit how much you like the show. Okay?
Mhm.
They give a shit about how much you want to watch the show and how much you want to sign up to Netflix to watch the show. So
Right.
if you enjoyed the show, it doesn't really matter.
Well,
What matters is everyone's talking about the show, which
yeah.
tries to fishhook other
Yeah.
people
I
into
think
the
HBO has done a
ecosystem.
much better job getting people to sign up to watch a show, whether it's The Sopranos or obviously Game of Thrones. People would get an HBO Go subscription to watch Game of Thrones and then cancel it as soon as Game of Thrones season ended, right? Like HBO's got it down for producing content that gets people to actually want to come in and watch the show, and pay for it, right? Whereas Netflix, just they're tackling too much, and their strategy is to just license fucking everything that they possibly can, no matter how much of it is shit, right? So I think to wrap up the point, uh, it's not surprising that Netflix is struggling, especially because they've gotten a real woke agenda. They did cuties and all this weird shit on top of the woke stuff, that has clearly not been a good move for them. And they've double, triple, quadrupled down over and over again with their direction that they're going, and that has been a direction that the audience themselves are not moving in. Right?
I just want to put out my prediction,
Go for it.
and that is well, there's a couple
Russia's
things.
going to invade Japan.
Yeah, one, Disney Plus is already offering a year-long subscription, so like at a discount, you can get it lock in for a
Mhm.
whole year for X number. Like I think it's $90
And you can
or
pay
whatever.
with PayPal.
Which they are definitely doing at cost in order to, because they're seeing it for a year down the line.
Oh yeah, Disney
People,
Plus. Like I think Disney Plus just raised their price too.
yeah, but what I'm
So
saying is that Disney is doing this in order to get you hooked on their content.
yeah,
Because when they first started, they were giving it away for free, a year free or whatever. Because they're trying to get you
no,
hooked on the. Yes, a bunch of there there
They had
was
a deal
some.
with Verizon at one point, didn't they?
okay, yeah, there was
Yeah,
some
so they
deal
have
with some phone company maybe,
they
but
If I'm
have
not
ways
if I'm not
that
wrong,
you can get
Verizon.
it for free. for a
Sorry.
year that is designed to get you to use it, get you to get hooked on it. Which look, Disney legitimately, they've got a huge catalog of all the old like DuckTales and like all that stuff that they actually have a catalog that theoretically could be something
Freaking
that
all
you
the
would,
Marvel stuff, all
you
the
could
Star
spend a
Wars
whole
stuff,
year
all the
you could
National
spend a whole
Geographic
year
crap on there.
casually watching Disney Plus, and by the end of the year, there's still stuff left over that you could still go through, right?
Well, I mean,
that
Yeah.
would be that you would actually want to continue paying for, right?
I might disagree with that.
Well, I'm just saying, like they've got enough stuff that like Recess, right? Uh, Lilo and Stitch the series, any number like Proud Family, like any number of things that were
Yeah, but
on.
as an adult, are you gonna ever watch any of those
No, but
shows?
I'm saying that
He's
there's
just saying they
enough
have a
stuff.
lot. Like anything that you can think of.
I'm saying that they've got the entire
Disney's got.
history of Disney's company has produced a lot of content that they have exclusive rights to
Yes.
that are going to be on their platform. So they're actually poised to do significantly better than Netflix in that regard. And like I said, they set up ways for you to have a year free so that you will get used to being able to sit down and watch some Disney, right? They've got tons and tons and tons and tons of movies, not just the stuff that you would immediately think of as a Disney movie, such
Well, they
Yeah.
also bought Fox.
Sleeping Beauty or whatever, but they also have, the stuff released under the Miramax line and all these other
Yeah.
things that were, that you remember nostalgically as a kid going to the movies and seeing that you wouldn't immediately think that's owned by Disney. Right. So they've got this stuff that I legitimately think if you were to sit down and spend a year watching this content effectively for free, that by the time it came to renew, a lot of people will. So that's all I'm saying. And I don't think Netflix, they don't have that. They've got a very small repertoire of things that are exclusive to their ownership, right? And that's why they have been trying to get things like different anime where being part of the production process allows them in exchange to have that exclusive license, right?
All right. So, sure. None of that had to do with what I was talking about.
Okay.
But
Tell me
okay.
about how Japan is going to get invaded by.
So Disney Plus offers a year lock-in for slightly cheaper. Okay.
Okay.
So Netflix does not. They just offer
Okay.
monthly.
So what you're saying is
Yeah.
Netflix, the monthly versus yearly price is the same.
Yes. So I
Okay.
think they will start offering a yearly thing to stop people from doing what Reeser
What I
FDM
was-
said,
Gotcha.
where you get the thing for 1 month, you binge your show, and then you
Mhm.
peace out. So when people are given the choice of, well, yeah, you could pay $15 now for this 1 month, or pay $100 so you save $15 or $30
The real
overall.
trick
Like
is
a
to
yearly
create a
Prime
new
subscription.
email and get a 7-day free trial.
Yeah.
Just keep getting a new email.
I think you need a different
A
credit card though.
whatever, yeah.
Well, I was
Oh.
trying to say earlier, speaking about Verizon, if might have been giving out Disney. I know now Verizon's giving out Hulu with all of their.
I mean, they
bigger.
all kind of
It's like
try this like
Disney Plus has
freaky
this
stuff.
like this for this package. You get Hulu, you can get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus or something.
Yeah.
Right now, Peacock
Yeah,
is
there's the Disney Plus.
or no,
Hulu, and
Paramount.
That's
Paramount.
exactly it, Reese. Actually,
Paramount's offering a bunch of shit free now because of their whole thing. They're the ones trying to get into the market. But so my prediction is that they will offer a yearly plan soon. I think there's already talks that they're going to start offering an ad-supported reduced cost plan or slight or maybe free plan that's just ad-supported. I think that they
I have
will
a major
move.
problem with that thought process. By the way,
Okay.
Well,
the whole
okay.
adding a
Stop it even longer.
cost-effective
I mean, Hulu does it.
one with I know, with commercials. Okay, no, if
Amazon Prime
you're-
actually inserts
I
fucking
would
commercials to
fucking
paid content,
refuse
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is
be
annoying.
with paying for a streaming service and having fucking commercials. Fuck that.
But,
No.
Well, I
but
mean,
hold
you
on.
paid for
Amazon-
cable and you
Amazon
have
Prime-
It'll be
commercials.
cheaper.
So-
It'll be tiered.
The
The
content
cheaper-
you
Amazon
Sorry.
isn't
Yeah, but
cheaper.
then that
No,
makes
I'm talking
the
about
thought process that
I'm talking about the Netflix one.
Oh, yeah. In
be-
theory, if
but
It
real
would
quick,
it would be a tiered plan, just like Hulu. You pay
Yeah.
$5 for ads, but you pay $8 for no ads.
yeah. I say they just make it $5, no ads, and make everyone happy.
so
okay.
the only content I've watched on Amazon Prime is stuff that is Amazon original that comes with my Prime subscription, right? And the only ads that I have seen are ads for other Amazon original things that I can skip at any moment.
I still count that as an ad, but yeah,
Okay,
you're
I'm
right.
just saying,
That is
like,
what I'm talking about.
Anyway.
And then the third thing that I think that they're going to move it to is more weekly stuff. Maybe, yeah, sure, they've already started doing it somewhat with anime. I think they're going to start doing it with their big franchises instead of this stupid like half season crap, which is bullshit and is like getting break checked in
But to
like
be fair,
in,
I've heard. To be fair, I have heard that Stranger Things, the reason they're splitting it in half is because they're double length episodes. So like 2 hour episodes. So it's gonna be like
Well,
twice as long as season.
What?
looking forward to that. Which I've been thinking this from the beginning is that these kids are getting older, right? You really should just be like working them to an early grade to get more content out before they're adults.
I heard this is the last season.
Well,
Or sorry, no, maybe there's one more season 5. I think is.
Yeah,
I
there should be
will. I
season
will
5.
just say this: although the ending to the last season with what happens to what's the Hopper? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hopper.
What happens to Hopper is fucking obvious. Granted that you didn't have to give it away in the trailer for the fucking season. Netflix.
They
I
didn't
haven't
give it
seen
away
this-
in the
I
trailer.
haven't
They gave
seen
it
a
away in the
single
end
thing
credit
from-
scene. What are you talking about? Did you
I
not watch
haven't
the end
seen
credit
it.
scene?
I have not seen a single thing for Stranger Things
Do they-
whatsoever.
Do they
So
have
I
an end credit scene?
Yes, they gave it away in the end credit scene. Go back and watch the end credit scene.
Effing Animatic says Disney Plus adding mature content while Disney is going to add Jet Li Kiss of the Dragon. Don't get me wrong, I love Jet Li movies, but Disney Plus really?
Well, they got to
I
put the
doubt they're gonna
Fox
go-
content.
Yeah.
No, they're definitely putting mature shit on there. They
Mm,
bought
they got-
Fox. They got all the
was gonna-
Fox movies. They ask you. They're like, "Do you want to see the mature content?" And you click.
So the
yes,
Damon Mills coverage, just real quick, the Damon Mills cover, that was the first thing we covered. So if you want to just
First 40
rewind, you
minutes.
can.
You are 4 hours or 3 hours too late.
Yeah, so just go ahead and watch the beginning.
I doubt that Disney's going to go back and undo the censorship they did on their previous things and just add a content warning, though.
No, I agree that. But they will put like mature rated movies, like
they got
R-rated
the
movies.
like the Punisher series and the Netflix Marvel series on there.
Yeah.
All right. Effing Animator says Netflix is the highest price streaming service compared to the others.
That's the other thing I forgot to mention. They're like, oh, we lost 200,000. No shit, you lost 200,000 subscribers. You raised the price. It's fucking $18 a month for like the not the like the SD, but like the basic HD pack, because there's 3 packages, right? There's standard def, then there's HD with
And
2 active streams, and then 4K
At
with
least
4
with
active
Amazon, I get free shipping, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
no
paying.
kidding.
I bought my my Amazon Prime specifically for the free shipping. It's like the streaming is
Yeah.
like a bonus.
Exactly. Right.
I'm
they're
paying
they're,
18
they're
bucks a month
providing
for
me
this
more.
stupid thing.
Yeah.
And
So-
then they're like, "Oh, why do we lose customers? Poor customers, stop sharing your passwords, you fucking cheapo customers.
Yeah, like,
Stop
how-
charging us $20 a month for this shit."
How are they going to like monitor the sharing passwords?
IP.
Like, how-
They could probably track
Like,
your IP address.
They actually already
I-
do. It's what is it? They say you can only have X active devices or whatever. So theoretically, if they
Yeah.
wanted to, this whole
But-
time they could have
but
said
if
one
they-
active device at a
Yeah,
time.
they could start lying and saying, "Oh, that person in Massachusetts and the person in Arizona are streaming, not at the same time, but we could say that they are, so that they would make it more inconvenient and stuff, But anyway, so let's
Well,
we've
the thing
gotten
is like
through.
a lot of companies already do this. I know my bank does this. I have to register my device with them because it's a security thing that they do to keep people from accessing my bank account because sending money and all that. So I'm sure Netflix has the same power and processing ability, so they could just literally make it to where, hey, this device is not hooked up, so you need to let us know that this is no longer used, so we can block the device.
Okay. With that,
That was a good point.
No, I just got to move off from this topic because
Okay.
we're 3
Fine.
hours in. I thought without the In Touch podcast, we'd be way further tonight.